Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. Napoli 2, Roma 2, game week 34 complete. I feel mixed. I feel bitter, but I also feel happy because I think it's a miracle that we got out of Naples with something. I think today's performance was not good enough. I'm not going to say that today's performance was unacceptable because we still managed to score 2 goals and we still managed not to lose this game in a ground where in these past seasons the head-to-head shows that Napoli completely dominated us. So I'm not going to call this performance unacceptable, but one thing that I want to make clear is if the players and the team have decided that they want to go all in on Europa League, fine, but please tell us, because I need to prepare my heart, I need to prepare my arteries, I need to prepare my veins, I need to lock my house with CPRs and medicine pills, because if that is what you want to do, I can't control it, I can only support you. But if you want to do it, you tell me in advance. You don't leave it to the last second, because I need to prepare. Because I've said it already and I will say it again. If you decide to go all in the Europa League, it's like basing your living off a lottery ticket. It's like that. And you only do that if you're mad. Like you only base unless you're a billionaire, you only base your salary and your wage on a lottery ticket if you're mad. Like if something in you tells you that you're mad. And this is the same exact situation. We are in no position to base ourselves on Europa League. As I said last time, we might end up winning this Europa League, but it's a risk that we can avoid and it's a risk that we can prevent. And I would love to prevent this risk because I've already seen this script, I've already seen this story, I've already read this book and already lived this moment in person. I've already seen what it means to have everything slipped away of our hands. A final, a trophy, glory, a Super Cup, European Super Cup final against Man City, and most importantly, a Champions League spot. I've seen that collapse away from my hands in the space of 2 hours last year. And if there's something that I could say as a fan is I don't want to live that again. I just want to breathe. I just want to take a breather, but I'm very aware that I can't take a breather because we will have to play, how many games are left? 4 finals in the league. We will have to play 4 finals plus 2 and maybe plus a third if we reach the final. Every single game from now until the end of the season, I don't care about fatigue. I don't care about energy, lacks of concentration, because we, fans and players and team, need to be aware that in these next 4 to 6 games, our next 5 years based on these next games. So I want the starting lineup to start in every single game. I want players like Korsdorp, players like Christensen, players like Renato Sanchez to be completely and definitely and ultimately placed away and not see a football pitch anymore, because they've costed us points, and the only way we win these games is if we start the starting lineup, and it could be a disaster because the team is gonna get tired, but it's the only way. The team has been constructed like this. The team in the past by Monchi, Pinto has been constructed in such a way that we only have 11 really good players and the rest or shit. Look, I want to speak about the game. I would like to thank everybody for 12,000 subscribers. You know, it means the world to me. I put so much effort and time on this channel, so seeing it grow, seeing you enjoy the content is an absolute pleasure. So yeah, please do hit the like and also subscribe if you haven't already. I think it's only fair to I think it's only fair to start off by saying that I struggle to find out how we managed to not lose this game, because Napoli were all over us for 90 minutes. Napoli bottled at least 7 chances. Like, it could have been 6-0 today, 6-1 today, and we wouldn't even have noticed. The difference from Napoli last year to this year is big, of course. If this game was played against Napoli from last year, this game would have probably ended 4-1. Osimhen scored a penalty, but overall he's not the same player. And overall, Napoli were all over us, something which is surprising because we've never seen Napoli so dominant against somebody this season. Our performance was just not good enough. Intensity-wise, it was slow pace. We were gifting away free passes, silly mistakes. It just was not the game, and we did not prepare this game the best way possible. I also think some decisions, some decisions today. Again, I'm gonna target Christensen in this live stream, not because he played a terrible game, but because I think he's just not good enough overall, and I'm basing this judgment on what I've seen from Christensen in the past 10 months. Christensen, okay, did not play a disaster of a game today, but Kvaratskhelia was always by himself. He was never marked by Christensen. And then, unfortunately, I liked the starting lineup. I think Azmoun did what he could, being isolated. Dybala got us that penalty, scored that penalty. He tried to do something, but it was quieter than other games. Pellegrini, again, tried, but wasn't amazing. Mancini today was not good enough. Spina today wasn't bad. Bovi today wasn't bad. And Cristante today, in my opinion, wasn't bad. But there's one thing which I think lost us the game. The one thing that lost us the game is subbing Bovi off for Renato Sanchez. I think that decision killed the momentum of the game. That decision killed the game because Renato Sanchez lost us this game. That is a stupid penalty. That is a stupid penalty. It's one of those stubborn penalties that you only concede if you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna leave Roma in 2 months. I'll be back in the city of love. I'll be back beneath the Eiffel Tower. I don't even care. Why am I even playing? That's the classic penalty that somebody commits because they're not careful. That's a penalty. That's a very avoidable penalty. But looking back at it, it is a penalty. It's a soft penalty. I must say, it's a soft penalty, but it is a penalty because it studs up on his knee, on the back of his knee, on the back of Kvara's knee. It's a soft penalty, and call me biased or not, but I do think that's a soft penalty. But it is a penalty because nowadays we've seen Mourinho call them modern penalties, and he's right. These are modern penalties. So it's a soft penalty, but it is a penalty. But that is a penalty that if you're more concentrated, you do not concede. So that is stupid from Renato Sanchez. That's stupid. That's just from Renato Sanchez to Renato Zero. If you're Italian, you'll know that joke. I think without that, we would have won this game. And winning this game would have been like fucking Cinderella getting the glass, what's it called, shoe back at midnight. It would have been perfect. Winning this game would have been such a slight turn to the league table. But we didn't deserve to win, and we didn't win. And in fact, we're lucky that we got something. A draw is handy. I'm not gonna call a draw useful because a draw is not useful. 1 point makes no difference. I think it's a handy result. I think it's a classic result which before the game started, I don't think none of us would have accepted. Seen the game and seen the circumstances of the game, I think it could be considered a golden point. It could, and you wouldn't be wrong. So unfortunately, Renato Sanchez killed this game. I still question why we bought Renato Sanchez. I still need to kind of drive back the algorithm that brought Thiago Pinto in buying Renato Sanchez. I still need to understand why we spent time searching for him, because he's absolutely useless. And if there's one thing that I can do right now is let me pee on his contract. I need to pee. Let somebody pee on his contract. And the biggest regret from this game is the table. It's the Champions League, because I mentioned this at the start, but I am scared. I mentioned this last week after the Bologna game, but I just feel as if the players want to focus on the Europa League. And again, I'll repeat this: I can't control this. I would never have let this happen. Yes, we're playing so many games. Yes, fatigue is something that we can't control, and it's something that it's inevitable. But I think it's very wrong. But ultimately, I'm not the one who decides. If the players feel like they want to risk it for the biscuit, then sure, go all in on Europa League. But what I will definitely say is that losing on Monday against Bologna and not getting 4 points today, in a position where we had such a shit first half of the season, and therefore losing points means under pressure. Because, what I mentioned after the Bologna game, this under pressure concept is very valid when you have such a shit half of the season. And it's just like this, one day after that Udinese game, we're up there, and the other day when we don't get 3 points, we're down here. I think it's still possible. Football is very, very, very unpredictable as always. But unfortunately, I think we will not win away at Atalanta. And that is going to be the clinching evidence which won't make us get top 5. I think we're going to lose in Bergamo. I see Atalanta more prepared than us. I see Atalanta more concentrated than us. I see Atalanta showing more devotion in these league games, despite the fact that they are playing a Europa League final and most probably will be playing a Europa League final as well. I just think Atalanta, to be honest with you, want it more than us, and it would be it's a 12-pointer game. The Bergamo game against Atalanta is a 12-pointer game. But then you look at the calendar, Atalanta have to play against Salernitana next weekend, who's already relegated. We need to play against Juventus. And I think we are going to win at home against Juventus, because I think Juventus is very beatable. But, it comes after the Leverkusen games. It's just this, I think it's slipping away. I think it's slipping away from our hands. I see people, including me, look at Bologna losing points. Oh, well, Bologna lost points. Let's capitalize on this. Juventus lost points. Let's try and put pressure on Juventus. But the reality check here is that these teams can lose as many points as they want. But if we don't capitalize and win games whenever they lose points, they can continue losing how many points as they want, and we will never catch them. So the point which I'm trying to make here is, top 5 is in our hands. Like, top 5 all depends on us. Atalanta can lose points. We can lose points. And Bologna can lose points. But it's just that stage where it's all on us. It's all on us. We've got this glass ball which either shatters, or either we sell it for 1 million euros and become rich. The life scenario is this. The calendar isn't promising. Leverkusen on Thursday. Then what? Juventus. Then what? Leverkusen again. Then Atalanta again. This calendar is shit. This calendar is makes no sense. But it is what it is. There are multiple paths, as always, that we can take to get Champions League football. Get top 5 in the league, win Europa League, or the last path is also Atalanta get 5th, win the Europa League, and we get 6th. And if that's the case, then we would get Champions League. But again, those are things that we can't control. Those are all things that depend on other teams, and I think it's wrong to base our life on other teams. It's wrong, because I think we need to be the owners of our own soul, if you see what I mean. I'm a bit bitter. I'm not gonna lie. I think this draw tastes more like a defeat than a victory. I'm very happy about Kami getting that goal. He was convinced it wasn't offside, and truth, it wasn't offside. So I'm very happy for him. But for the overall performance, I'm a bit disappointed. I've got nothing to say on the only thing that I can say to De Rossi today is this Renato Sanchez substitution. I think Bove was playing well, so I think that made no sense. But there's nothing else that I can say. I mean, if it wasn't for De Rossi, we'd be 9th right now. So I will never blame De Rossi this season. I will never blame De Rossi for having to play one game every 2 days, and still managing not to lose, because we didn't lose today, and that's important. But I also need to look at the other side, which says that Champions League hopes via the league are slipping away. They just are. And yeah, they are. Europa League, massive week. It can mean history again. It's now so important because of how these last results in the league have gone. I'm still not ready for it. Starting from tomorrow, my mind will start focusing on that game. Starting from tomorrow, I will analyze Bayer Leverkusen to prepare a match preview. But right now, I haven't looked at them. Right now, all I can say about Bayer Leverkusen is that they're a very good team, of course, probably one of the best in Europe, but they're also very lucky, because you can't be scoring every single time at the 96th minute. It's luck. It's ass. And I believe in my team. I believe in us beating Leverkusen. I believe it. I mean, if that's what everybody needs to do. If nobody believes in it, then what's the point of us even being here? We need to believe in it. We need to believe in this tie, because we're 2 games away from a final. We're 2 games away from a fucking European final. And the team in Europe, at home, gives me such a confident boost, even though I know they're knackered. We need to give it our best. We just have to give it our best. And yeah, I still hope that we don't let the league slip away from our hands. Because I still think it's possible. You know, right now, at the time of speaking, yes, Atalanta have a game in hand, but they are behind us. So it just takes us not losing in Bergamo and Atalanta losing some more points that we're back going. It's a situation which changes day in and day out. It's a situation which constantly changes. It's a situation that we can control on our side, but we can't control on the Atalanta side. It's quite simple. If we get smashed by Leverkusen at home, we might as well give up on Europa League and focus more on the league. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If we lose 3-0 on Thursday, then yes, in Germany the following week, start whoever you want to start, but preserve the players. It's just decision making right now is the number one complicated thing that goes through in the staff and the head of the players and De Rossi and us fans, because yes, we're not involved in this, but we feel involved in this and we want to participate in this decision making. It's a very complicated decision making. Do we go all in on both competitions, knowing that, however, the team does not play well in league games? Or do we discard Europa League and focus on the league, which I don't think is going to happen, because the team cares a lot about Europe and I care a lot about it. And then the third option is letting go of the league and focusing all on Europa League, which I also think is a very big mistake. I still want to follow option 1, which is balancing things out, but I'm also aware that this isn't working out, because every time we try balancing things out, then the following week, the following game after European game, we look like a fucking Walking Dead cast. Today we looked dead. Zvilor today saved us, and Dika saved us, and Tammy and Dybala too. But the man of the match today is Zvilor again. Again, it's Zvilor, and Ndika as well. Napoli were all over us today. Napoli bottled at least 11 chances in front of the goal. Atalanta's momentum has come at the best time possible. Lazio's only 4 points back. Yeah, and now you also have Renato Sanchez. You also have Lazio behind you, who don't have European competitions, have an easier calendar than you, and it looks like they're grabbing a bit of momentum. I do not want to be De Rossi right now, because the complexity of these decisions is massive, but there's nothing we can do. I think all we can do is celebrate and support and go to the stadium and watch games and get those scarves, display the colours. That's all we can do. I believe in my team for Thursday. Tomorrow, bit of talk, start of the week, fresh talk, what a week it is. And yeah, I don't know why I'm sounding so depressed, because we didn't lose today. It's a good point that we can collect. But my point here is, I'm a bit disappointed on the performance. I'm very disappointed on Renato Sanchez, who fucking hell looks like Bob Marley after 7 kilos of weed. And then the most important thing that I'm disappointed about is this feeling of Champions League hopes, top 5 slipping away, because Atalanta is on such good form. We need to move on. We haven't got much to go. We've got like 3 weeks to go. In these 3 weeks, we will play a lot of games. It's It just is a lot of games. Every one of them means the world. Every one of them needs attention, concentration, and every one of them is a final. We need to treat the remaining games like a final, because we need to try and somehow win them all in the league. I would accept a draw in Bergamo 100%. Sign me up. Draw in Bergamo, yes, but we need to win against Juventus, against Genoa, and against Napoli. And obviously we've got Leverkusen. Right, that's my match reaction. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like, subscribe. Don't abandon the team. Don't abandon the team, because if you abandon the team now and then we celebrate something at the end of the season, you do not have the rights to celebrate. You either are on this train from day 1 to day 365, or you're not on this train. So decide. And if you're on this train, hit the like and subscribe. Now or never. Head, heart, swords, believe. Everything you do, lads. I know you're tired. I just know you can't do this anymore, but you need to fucking fight. Because from the next games, from our 4 to 6 next games, every one of them needs to be treated like Tirana in 2022, like Budapest in 2023, and like we've done in Europe every single game since what? Since 5 years now. It really is massive. It's still a draw. I'd consider a golden point. I'd take it. It's a handy result. It's not a perfect result. It's not a terrible result. It's a handy result. Give me the point. We move. Talk to you soon. Forza Roma sempre. If you're on the train, show the support. If you're not on the train, you can leave. I don't care. But stick on this train. Book your tickets. We're all on this. Bye bye. See you out.